are settling as Bunbury behind the ball.
That puts us at 82, 49, and 8 on the season, hitting at a 62.5% clip.
Back-to-back golden boots. That's 3 in a row for me. 3 too, man. Like, not a dime. That's called being for the people.
It's over! The Columbus Crew, 2023 MLS Cup champions!
All right. Welcome in, everybody, to the MLS Live Podcast. As always, on Sports Profit TV, I am Cooper at the Sports Profit, and with me, as always, is my co-host Garrett at Just Some Footy. Spirits are high right now on the MLS Live Podcast fam. Currently on an 8-3 run. Slow start to the year, but weeks 2 and 3, we really have bounced back, so we're looking to keep that going this week for week 4. Yeah, good stuff going on. We've got another 2-unit play, a 2-unit designation. If you followed the podcast this year or last year even, you know that when we go 2 units, our results have been there. So, and Garrett and I were both kind of on board together for this week's 2-unit play. So, looking forward to it. Definitely a trickier slate. Kind of had to dig into the slate this weekend, obviously, because you got CONCACAF Champions League going on, so it makes it a little tougher than normal. But we will continue to do our best to provide winners and value. And yeah, Garrett, any thoughts on the week 4 slate, week 3 in hindsight before we get going?
Yeah, no, I'm pleased right now, right? Like, I think the reads are there. We needed that 1 week just to kind of see everything. And I think we're in a much better spot now. The week 4, I agree with you, I think is a little trickier. There are actually, I've only had 2 plays for the show, but there are a few other plays I am looking at where it's just I need either teams to finish their Champions Cup match, or I need to check on some more injury updates throughout the week and stuff like that. But because there's a lot going on. But no, I'm pleased with how things are going right now.
Yeah, as am I. One thing I was hoping maybe you could answer, because I could not get my hands on it. Obviously, MLS teams are involved in CONCACAF Champions League today, Wednesday, and Thursday. And they're rounding out like the second leg of the round of 16 quarterfinals. Do you know if they start again next week, or is there a break? Because I went to the CONCACAF website and like the dates are like to be determined. Like, it's hard to find that information.
The dates should already be mapped out. Of course, it's the matchups that haven't been decided yet. But I can look while we're chatting, and then
Okay.
Maybe follow up at the end of the show.
Right on. Cool. Other quick hit storylines. CONCACAF Champions League today. Philadelphia Union currently in the midst of an embarrassing beatdown in Mexico. Pachuca is just drubbing them right now. It's 6-0. So obviously MLS, podcast here. Not, we don't love to see that. After Pachuca scored their second goal, it kind of felt like they just kind of laid down Philadelphia. Obviously, Pachuca's scored more goals than any other team in MX. So, great. They have a great attack, but still hate to see that. Always want to see MLS teams advancing in those international competitions.
Quarterfinals for Champions Cup start the first week of April.
Okay, so that's good. So we're going to have a couple of weeks here, a couple of match weeks where we don't have to worry about like crazy rotation. It's hard to like Miami, for example. Like, how are you even backing Miami at this point when clearly they're prioritizing Champions League? Messi wasn't even available against Nashville in league play over the weekend. So it makes things trickier for sure.
Yes, 100%.
All righty, let's get to it then. We got 4 plays for you guys, again, including a 2-unit. So we will go ahead and jump into it. Let's go ahead here. Boom. First game. This one's going to be mine. I'm backing the home team here. Minnesota United hosting LAFC. Look, I'm not saying LAFC is not going to be good this year. I'm not saying that they're not good now. I'm not saying that they're not talented. But teams start the year differently and they take time to adjust and gel. I don't think LAFC looks like a team that is firing on all cylinders at all right now. I mean, I think that they're desperately in need of some pieces that they have yet to go out and get, and they're going to go get those over the summer window, and they're not going to suck in the meantime. It's not like they're going to be a bad team until the summer window gets here. I just don't think that they are necessarily a great team right now, and I think that they are definitely in need of those DP spots that they have yet to fill. Minnesota, on the other hand, these guys have looked really good. They have carried over the way that they finished the year last year. They finished hot, and they have carried that over into this year. They look dangerous. They look well-rounded. A big piece that we always want to keep an eye on is Reynoso, who is their do-it-all 10. He practiced in full today. Apparently scored a couple of goals and was not limited. It doesn't mean he's going to start for this one, but it means he's almost 100% going to be available with probably a chance of starting. I wouldn't count on it though, but he'll be available. And look, I just think Minnesota is going to get up for this one. They're playing at home. They've looked good so far this year. I could absolutely see a draw here, or even, if things go the right way. We've seen LAFC, even when they were totally loaded, like best team in Major League Soccer, their road form is not the same under Tarangelo. They just don't play the same type of football on the road. So I think Minnesota United is in a good spot at home. I think that they look more polished and they're just gelling right now. And I don't think LAFC is. So I'm going to take the quarter here, the plus 0.25 Asian handicap at home here for Minnesota.
Yeah, I could see a draw. My favorite play when LAFC is on the road, it's been pretty matchup proof actually, is the under 3. Typically you can get that under 3 at some juice.
Yep.
And play it. And like that went over, I think, twice last season with a more potent attack. I don't think LAFC is a bad club at all. I think they actually still are really good defensively. The numbers don't show it, but half of their expected goals against this season came against RSL in a blizzard. And I just throw that one out the window. So I don't count that one against them. Minnesota has been surprising. What is keeping me hesitant with this game is Ramsey is now in. He's been running practices this week. I don't know what he's going to do to this team, right? Like, it would be great if he just, kept them going like they have been, but every coach has their own philosophy. I think he's going to want more pressing and stuff like that, right? Like, so I don't know if Minnesota's technically built for that. We'll have to see. I think Minnesota aren't as good as the season they're having so far.
That's fair.
We'll see if I'm proved differently in the long run. But no, I do like the angle here of grabbing some protection with the draw. I think that's important here.
Yeah,
I just don't know what Ramsey's going to do, right? So I just have to see it.
Right, and with this 0.25, it's even a half cash with a draw. So, I just think LAFC, they're always going to be highly valued by the books, and I just don't think they're there yet, and I don't think they're where they were a year ago at this time. So
it is interesting that Minnesota's like around a plus 185 dog at home.
Right.
Like that is interesting. So I think this is a decent look getting that, especially getting that draw protection. Like that's key for me.
Absolutely, and that's the whole goal. Is we've already found the books out a couple of times this year where they just haven't adjusted properly. The LA Galaxy team total a couple of weeks ago that cashed in the first half with ease, and it was plus 140. There are going to be those opportunities. All right, next game, Columbus Crew at home hosting New York Red Bull, who have looked pretty damn good so far this year, huh?
Yeah, I'm a fan, and this feels kind of bold, just because the Crew are the Crew, right? And here I am saying Red Bulls are going to come into Columbus and at least get a point. And I do see the draw here. Red Bulls could sneak out a win, but I like the draw more. But this is their third road game to start the season, and this will be their fourth game, right? The other two road games were in Nashville and Houston. Not easy places to go into, right? And they got a draw in Nashville and they beat Houston. Coincidentally, those two teams are also Champions Cup sides. So here I'm doing the same thing where I'm just trying to find value in attacking Champions Cup sides. These attacks for these two teams are basically the same. 4.6 expected goals so far this season for the Crew, 4.5 for the Red Bulls. But the Red Bulls defense still remains their calling card, only giving up 0.66 expected goals against a game so far through 3. So I let this Red Bulls team is so tough to play against. Now we're getting a Columbus Crew side who are giving up roughly 1 expected goal a game so far. Not crazy considering they're having to balance 2 competitions at the moment. Some fun stats for the teams that are currently playing this week in Champions Cup is those teams' combined record so far this season is 5-11-7, 5 wins, 11 draws, 7 losses. So Champions Cup sides are only winning 21% of their games this season so far. Yeah. We're not seeing a lot of goals in those games. No less goals obviously favors the Red Bulls here having to travel. Now the Crew, I will say, are one of the 2 Champions Cup sides who are actually playing well, right? You've got Inter Miami and the Crew. The Crew at 2-1 this season, 2 wins, 1 draw, 4 goals for, 2 goals against. So they're not this. They're overachieving technically right now, just analytically speaking, and because they're having to balance 2 competitions. I mean, they're doing a great job. This Red Bulls team though is just so good, man. I don't think they're going to score enough throughout the season to like set them up for some type of cup run, right? Like I can't see that, but they're a tough matchup anytime you have to match up with them. So I really do. I'm getting a really good price here for a double chance of Red Bulls as Crew just played tonight. They'll have a little more rest than some of these other Champions Cup sides with it being Tuesday. But I like attacking these cup sides right now that's been making money. And when you're giving me a good team like Red Bulls with a double chance, yeah, I'm going to bite on a good price like that.
Yeah, you started this off saying this was bold, and that's literally what I had written down in my notes about this play. And bold is not necessarily bad. I mean, that's bold. Being bold is part of sticking your neck out and finding yourself on the right side and handicapping a lot of times. So I think this game could be really exciting. Actually, it wouldn't even surprise me if this was like a 2-2 because and hopefully it's not crazy, but man, Red Bulls have looked really good. They created over 2 expected goals last week. They created like 1.6 on the road against Nashville. I went back and looked at that, which obviously Nashville was shorthanded, but yeah, they've looked really good. I would say Columbus and Miami, probably Miami, then Columbus in that order, when at full strength are going to be the highest valued teams by the books right now. So like at home as a favorite against somebody, those 2 teams are going to be the highest valued. So yeah, I think that says a lot that we are potentially getting on a team here in New York Red Bull that the books don't totally see what we're seeing right now. Like these guys are legit. They've always been good defensively. And now with Forsberg and Lewis Morgan looks great.
You can already see how much they missed Morgan last year.
Yeah, he looks awesome. And so they've got offense now, right? So completely different team. They're confident. They're gelling. Bold, like you said, but I like it. And this is one you better have circled to watch if you just want to see a good game, because this is going to be a chess match. It's going to be exciting. It should be a really good one. Okay, on to the next one. Gabe Buckets in the chat says lots of potential draws so far.
I would agree.
Yeah. And
I will probably have a couple. Like I said, it's crossing the T's and dotting the I's later this weekend, because you're not going to lose a ton of value on a draw. So I don't have to take it early and worry about any kind of closing line value. The value in the draw will always be there.
Right. And nothing wrong with waiting for lineups either, because lineups obviously are big when it comes to that, and who can score, and who's rotating and all that. Okay. Next one. This is mine, and I was just kind of joking a little bit before the game, before the show started. Like, clearly, look, Philadelphia just got waxed in Champions Cup. Now it is Tuesday, so you have some time to bounce back, but they just allowed 6 goals to Pachuca. Austin might be the furthest thing from Pachuca, so like I'm not even hinting it at any kind of comparison between the two. I'm not afraid of Austin at all. They might be the least potent offense in MLS right now. They created 0.89 expected goals the first game of the season against Minnesota. They created 0.04, so almost no. I mean, I think they had 1 shot on target against Seattle. And then last week they scored 2 goals, but they didn't even score. They didn't even create an expected goal. Philadelphia on the road. We know how these guys play on the road. Always a little more defensive. So again, I'm going to be rocking the under 2.75 here. Austin has already kind of showed. And look, Driussi, I think, has been training in some limited fashion, but he's not starting here. Last I checked, he won't be available to start. He may be a second half off the bench type thing. But we've already seen from Josh Wolf, basically, like, I almost feel like tactically he's in panic mode, because he's, get 2 years ago, he they come out and they're playing this, heavy passing, heavy possession style. And now they're sitting back. Like we've seen a lot of low blocks from Austin this year. And they basically just don't, they're playing not to lose, and they're playing not to concede. Philadelphia is defensive on the road. I'm going to play the under 2.75 here. I just look, if Philadelphia comes in and scores all the goals, so be it. I just can't see Austin as a home team scoring a ton of goals against Philadelphia. They're not threatening at all. And I think this line should be 2.5, and it's 2.75 at almost even money. So I'll take the under, just from a value standpoint.
Let me ask you something. Both teams to score no is plus money.
I like it.
How do you feel?
Yeah, I like that too.
I mean, because you're right. Austin isn't creating anything. That offense is bad. And I just have to imagine you're going to see a defensive display from Philly as an answer this weekend to what we just saw tonight. Like, it was
Right.
bad. Pachuca was just having fun.
I know. Yeah,
It's been a minute since I've seen an MLS team get stunted on that hard. So I do expect, like, just a total focus on defense for the weekend. And so that just came to me as you were talking. I was like, well, I wonder what that is, because, like, I don't know if Austin's going to score, right?
Right.
So because Carranza should start for Philly. He came off the bench tonight. So I would expect him to be starting this weekend, along with most of the other guys, regular starters. So yeah, this is interesting. Like, after seeing that and just expecting a response, like, now Philly looks like a real nice potential bounce back spot. So
I don't know, because I initially looked at Philly PK, draw no bet. I mean, like, on paper maybe, but like Champions Cup hangover, like, Philly doesn't look really like Philly right now. I think I like the under 2.75, because, like, even if you did somehow get like a 3-0 or even a 2-1, you still get half your money back. And I really don't see them even sniffing that. I'm going to take advantage of Driussi not being on the field for 90 minutes again. And while that's still a thing, Austin is not creating, dude. Like, they cannot. I mean, they look like.
do you think Austin score? Because they did just ask, like, well, what if just Austin team total under half?
maybe, I mean,
What if I told you it was plus 300?
okay. I mean, like, yeah, I'm on for I'll ride that because it's plus 300. But
But legitimately, like, is that some value since
yes,
Driussi isn't going to go 90 minutes,
it's
right?
value.
Like, and then
Yeah, it's value. Like no doubt about it. That's value. Um, I just Austin at home, fluky, stupid stuff can happen. But yeah, it's value.
I do like the under. Like, Austin doesn't scare me. Like I said, I've already painted the picture of why I think Philly has to circle the wagons and like really like hone in on the defense after getting embarrassed. So I do like the under. I just got now like all these other potential ideas popping in my head after just watching that game, being like, holy crap, there's no way they let anything remotely like that happen again.
That's a good point too. Like, I mean, you don't think Kirchin's going to be in their ass after this one all week? He definitely will be. So,
Like,
cool.
getting knocked out of Champions Cup is one thing, but you don't want to get embarrassed, right? And it like,
At
and
Austin,
that's
the
all that
worst team in the
was.
league. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
I think this game is going to tell a lot about Philadelphia's resolve. Like, what
Okay.
kind of team are they actually, right? Because we said, I don't know if this team is going to be as good as they were last year because they brought in this, it's just the same pieces,
Yeah.
and the East is getting better and better. Um, so I think this could, it feels early for like a season defining moment, right? But after that game, man, you definitely expect an answer.
Yeah, you need an answer. I agree. I like the spin that you've put on this one, and I guess I didn't think about it that way, but knowing Philadelphia and like how they're coached, getting dunked on 6 goals, defense is gonna be the focus, especially on the road again. They're gonna be fighting. So I like it. I like it even more than I thought I did. Cool. All right, last one, guys, and this is going to be our 2 unit for this week's show. I'm playing this as well. I'm equally, if possibly, more excited about this one than Garrett is, but it's officially Garrett's show play, so I'll let you tee this one up.
So yeah, we're back on a Galaxy a total here where we're going to go. This time it's going to be both teams to score plus over 2.5. So mixing it up a little bit instead of going the hard three to try to find a little more way to bring this home, so to speak. The Galaxy attack still early in the season, but it's third in the league with 6.9 expected goals. We said it as soon as Peck and Paintsil came over. This attack is going to be one of the best ones in the league. Peck did miss last week or last game versus Nashville, but he was getting married. Like, that was already like a planned thing before he signed.
Yeah.
So I expect him to be back. I don't think
Is
you
the
get much
plan
of a
for him to
honeymoon.
start, Garrett,
Do
eventually?
what?
Is the plan for Peck to start eventually, or is it going to?
I think so, because they really like it when they have Puig, Peck, and Paintsil out there, because
Yeah.
then you've got two inverted wingers with Puig pulling all the strings. It's just getting him up to speed. I think Paintsil, the talent is very evident, right? Granted, he ran into a little bit of a wall with Nashville, had trouble figuring that game out a little bit. You're going to have those growing pains, but yes, I think eventually you will have that front four of Jovic, Puig in the middle, and then Peck and Paintsil on either side. But Fagundes isn't a bad option to have while Peck is getting up to speed, right? Like,
Right.
Fagundes, he's not going to carry you, but he's not going to hurt you, right? Like, that dude's a veteran. He's been around. He knows what to do. So I think it's just a safe option while you bring Peck up to speed, knowing he was going to be in and out of the lineup with these already scheduled wedding and stuff. What I am surprised about the Galaxy a little bit is their expected goals against. It's only 2.7 so far this season. We said that defense should be vulnerable. It's getting older. So that's interesting. But then I see St. Louis, and St. Louis is going to play how they play no matter what. They have their system. They like it. They're going to, no matter what's going on in the game, they're not really changing that. Now, they've only generated 3.5 expected goals a game. This is St. Louis. But all we need is one here from them, right? Like, if Galaxy just go on a tear, all we need is one from St. Louis. I feel confident in getting that here based on how they play. This game's going to be way more open. than it was with Nashville. Nashville is probably going to be the deepest block the Galaxy will see all season, with a fully rotated Nashville 11, where they're basically just trying to make it to halftime 0-0. And somehow they did, with a blocked PK and a Galaxy goal that was called back for offsides. The Galaxy shouldn't have to worry about a block like that, right? So I expect this game way more open. Now, I look at St. Louis's defense, and it's 3.2 expected goals against the game right now, right? So you got these two defenses that I think are on paper performing better than we expected. But I looked at St. Louis, and 2 of those 3 were versus Houston and Austin, and both of those are in the bottom third of the league in generating like chances, opportunities, expected goals, all of that. So I'm not surprised that St. Louis's defense looks as good as it does on paper, playing against subpar offenses. Right now, you're getting arguably the best offense in the league. So I see Galaxy getting multiple goals at home. I feel very confident about St. Louis getting 1. Does this go over 3? Maybe, possibly. But because I'm getting a price that I'm comfortable with, that both teams to score plus over 2.5, I'm going to fire it at 2 units on that right there.
Yeah. So the only thing I was debating here was whether to play, this both teams are scoring over 2.5, which, by the way, this is the first time we've played this combo bet this season, but we've played it a lot in years past and have absolutely pretty much crushed the both teams are scoring over 2.5 looks. So, but yeah, I was debating between, do I play the over 3 where, if Galaxy, 3-0, you get a push, but I watched the Nashville Galaxy game from start to finish. Galaxy's giving the ball away quite a bit in the midfield. That's not a good recipe against a St. Louis City team that's going to come and high press, the heck out of you. So that's why I think I'm leaning towards doing this. Both teams are scoring over 2.5 because Galaxy's still giving the ball away. That back line that Galaxy has that's older, like we talked about, that's not really a good recipe either against a team like that. Slower back, center backs. So
to your point, the Galaxy haven't played anyone that's going to press like this. Miami's not going to press you like that. Nashville, you saw it. They were so deep. They weren't going to press you like that. That's just, pressing like that is just not in San Jose's DNA. Yeah. So it's going to be a different experience for the Galaxy. I really like the goal potential here. St. Louis is going to press, but I do believe that Galaxy will be able to get their long balls off and just send those guys down the sides. This should be the most entertaining game of the week.
Yeah, I think this one's going to be awesome. I also that LA Galaxy team total over 1.5. It's like minus 160. It's just like right out of reach, where you want to play it with the juice. So, if you're watching this game live and it looks good, kind of how we expect it to look, and that team total creeps down to minus 140, minus 130, go ahead and get you some of that as well. I definitely approve that message. But yeah, this is a good one. This one is going to be at least 2 units for me as well. I can't lie. I considered it for 3, just because
it was close. It's for me as well. It's just a little too early, I think, for me to really fire on, a 3 unit, which is the most that I'll ever go on a play.
Yeah.
But no, it is a juicy look.
Yeah, it looks great. And LA Galaxy at home too. Let's remember they created like damn near 4 expected goals against Miami at home, and they've been on the road for the next 2 games. So back at home, is it still Herbalife Park or has that changed?
I think. Oh no, because I think so. I don't know, man. Honestly, because they play at the campus stadium, right? Am I crazy?
Maybe it's changed. I thought I remembered it being Herbalife, but Divinity Health. Yeah.
There we go.
Thanks, Gabe.
Dignity. Yeah.
Dignity Health, not Divinity. Come on, Gabe, get it together. So, anyways, really good look there. I think that's a fantastic look. So we got our 2-unit. We'll run these back one more time for you guys from the top. If you're just tuning in. Oh, guys, please like the video. Like I asked everybody week 2, made a huge difference. Got like over 100 likes. That's big for the search engine algorithm and all that stuff. So everybody else can see the video. So like the video, please. Makes a big difference. All right. Minnesota United plus 0.25. New York Red Bull plus a half. That one's at Columbus. Austin and Philadelphia under 2.75. And then, of course, the 2 units that we just discussed, LA Galaxy and St. Louis City over both teams to score and over 2.5, that combo bet. If you don't have that on your book, we're both cool with over 3, right?
Oh yeah. No, that's fine. I took this because it's a winner if it's 2-1, right? But if you prefer, if that's too much, if your juice tolerance isn't there with it, or you want that push protection in case Galaxy just roll for some reason, no, I'm totally cool with over 3.
Cool. Thanks, Jose, for tuning in as always. And then one more thing before we clock out here. If you followed the show, like if you tuned in on Tuesday or even Wednesday or probably Thursday, to be honest with you, because MLS, the market sometimes doesn't even move real big until Friday or Saturday. We got pretty massive CLV again. Like the San Jose under closed juiced at like minus 130, under 2.5. We sent that out at under 3 at like the same price. So pretty big movement there. What else moved? I feel like I'm blanking on the slate right now, but what was our big play? What was our 2-unit?
I've gone through so many plays today. I'm trying to think of.
Oh, we didn't have a 2-unit last week.
Here I'll just.
Oh, Atlanta moved.
Atlanta did move, yes. NYC, both teams to score, actually moved some. DC United did score, did move a little bit.
No, DC United closed at a quarter. It closed at 0.25.
So it moved a lot.
Yeah.
But that's the whole point of doing these plays on Tuesdays. We're giving you, not only are you getting our favorite looks on the weekend slate, but also at prices that are just going to be better than when they come to weekend typically. Now that's not, CLV is nice. It's not the goal, right? We are giving you plays that we think are going to win based on the price they are right now. But to be profitable long-term, that is a key element in it, is to constantly beat that closing line value.
Yeah. And also, like, the reason it's a big deal is because, look, we crushed last season and we hit 63.5%. So that means, 36.5% of the time we're losing. So that CLV, if we send something out to you guys at minus 110 and you're going, well, I tuned in on Saturday and I'm going to get this now at minus 155, and it loses because 36.5% of our plays last year did lose, you're losing a lot more money than you should be. So tune in early and, ride with us, and we're looking to do better than the 63.5% last year, which
is crazy.
Yeah, it's really. I mean, I don't know another podcast for MLS
but
that did anything close.
I mean, that's the bar, though. Like, that's the bar,
right? That's the bar for us. So, and that's why we put the work into this, and that's why we show up prepared and really dig in deep to these and try to get you guys winners. So. All righty. Last reminder to like the video, subscribe to the channel, to Sports Profit TV. That's me. If you haven't, that way, if Elon sells Twitter or something, you can still watch our shows. And we'll see you guys next week. Garrett, anything?
No, make sure you're following us as well. And I'm pretty confident to say that we will both probably have more plays as the week progresses. So you can find all those at those handles. And no, as always, guys, thanks for tuning in. We really appreciate your support, and best of luck this weekend.
See you guys.